Kozuki Oden's flashback has got to be the most impactful flashback in One Piece ever. What's up, YouTubers of the world? megageekmixer here to give you guys my review on Kozuki Oden's flashback. With it being on break this week because Oden got ill, I decided that I'll take this time to reread through all the chapters, knowing that next chapter we're going back to the present, and I'm glad I did. What a crazy flashback, the most impactful one I have seen so far. There's just so much to go off of here, guys. I really wouldn't know where to start, but I will say, for an overview of this entire flashback, everything we were given from the origins of the Red Scabbards to Kozuki Oden and Orochi's past gives you more understanding of things. But what I really liked about it was how they gave us more insight on not just Whitebeard, but Gold Roger's adventures on his journey to becoming king of the pirates. That was insane. Now, this flashback was impactful, but I wouldn't really know if I call it the best flashback because it was really like, for some parts of it, especially with Whitebeard and Roger, an overview of their adventures and everything. Now, I'm not saying I wanted to get all in-depth details of it. I'm just saying give a little more than what they have, but at the same time, Oda did say that he is Russian Wano and stuff, so you can kind of let it pass a bit there. So it's okay on that end. But also, to see what Wano was like back in the past and 41 years ago, before Orochi took over when Oden was out at sea, I really see now that I really hope it gets back to that. Although it's going to take a lot of work, because Oden and Orochi, that's been 20 years from the present timeline, and they've really destroyed that place. That is very sad on that end. But now why don't we just go into some of the three main plot points that were given to us in this flashback. There are a lot of it though, but I'm going to save those for other videos. Starting off with Kozuki Oden though, man, that guy is crazy. He's insane, but I loved him. No wonder he was so powerful that he joined the Whitebeard Pirates and was part of the Roger Pirates. I'm very curious actually to know what his bounty was. I'm pretty sure it was high. Actually, if I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if it was higher than Luffy's. I mean, let's face it, the powers that were in Roger's era, they are just on a different level to the powers that are in Luffy and Blackbeard and all the other pirates that are out there right now. But still, Kozuki Oden, the craziness he did and wanting to be disowned all because he wanted to go out to sea was very much pretty much how some of us feel out there. We really want to be able to get out there in the world, see things. Now for some of us here in our world, we got the internet and all this other stuff that it can kind of help us out a little, but let's face it, seeing stuff in person, that's another thing, and that's exactly what was seen with Oden. And what I also liked about this guy was how he didn't care what a person looked like. It doesn't matter to them. But let's face it, this is kind of like one of those things out there here right now that, yeah, there are some people who don't care what you look like, and there are others who kind of do. But even still, though, this Oden guy is something else. And how he met his end and how he joined the Whitebeard Pirates was definitely something to see. With the similarities of facing a challenge of trying to hold on for a certain number of days or hours or so. Incredible stamina. This guy was definitely something. I loved every part of him. But I think the real stuff we can say that really made this flashback was not just his journey to Kuryu and taking on Ashura Dojo and becoming Daimyo, but it came when he went with the Whitebeard Pirates, venturing out into sea and then joining the Roger Pirates. Because what we saw there, when I actually saw that we were actually getting Whitebeard and Gold Roger during their time, that made me just go excited, say like, you're kidding me. We're gonna get a few of their adventures right here in front of our eyes. That was insane. because knowing that we hear all these news and all this talk about them was something else. And we got a little briefness of Whitebeard and Gold Roger clashing their Conqueror's hockey without even their swords clashing was definitely a sight to see indeed. But I think it really started to pick up though when finally we actually saw Oden go with Roger and they were all working their journey way into finishing the Grand Line, because we learned from Roger of the island that he thought was the last island but found out wasn't. I can't remember what it is, but still, when he found out it wasn't, so that journey began to the four poneglyphs and finding out what it was that was left behind by the people who made these ancient weapons and stuff. And it also makes all perfect sense to us now why Raftel's so hard to find. Not just because of the four poneglyphs, but because the world government doesn't want anyone going there, because the secrets to what happened in the Void Century are straight up on that island. At least that's what I'm getting from all this. And that's another thing about this flashback that really got me hyped. And that was the fact that we got more clues than ever to give us an even better conclusion at what we might thought happened in the Void Century. And speaking of the Void Century, well, as we all know, Oden eventually got married to a woman named Toki, and it turns out this Toki woman, she lived in the Void Century. Now, did she live during where the conflict happened? We don't know on that end. We just know she lived in the Void Century thanks to her time fruit powers. And that's also another thing that was kind of a downer about this flashback. It doesn't look like we're gonna get her side of the story on how she sent her son and some of the nine red scabbards to the future, and how Hiyori escaped and how she perished in that castle. But since this was all about Oden, I guess we can kind of let that slide, even though I really did want to see it, no matter how terrible it would have been. But as for the Void Century, more clues to it, such as, for one, the big one of them all, Joy Boy. It seems that Joy Boy is the one who left a One Piece there. Or at least something that you could pretty much say is the first One Piece, and whatever Roger left when he made it to Raftel is now a part of One Piece too. So yeah, Joy Boy was there too, and he left a treasure there, and Roger wanted to see what it is. And when he and the crew all saw it, all they did was laugh. This makes you think that whatever this is, first off, I'm sure we all knew that it was not silver and gold. That's the one thing we came to learn as we started watching One Piece, considering how there are some pirates and people who consider something else treasure. But whatever it was that Joy Boy left behind, and it did nothing but make the Roger pirates laugh, I can't help but think it's maybe the Rio Poneglyph, or the history of what happened in Void Century, or what he left behind. Because what if whatever he left behind was for the mermaid princess? Because if y'all don't know, Joy Boy was the one who made that poneglyph that's an apology letter back in Fishman Island on the Fishman Island arc. To find out Joy Boy has a part to play in this Void Century, or better yet, that's no surprise there. I think it's more to say how the Sea Kings, for one, we've learned about their conversation, and when Roger heard them out there because of his voice of all things, to be able to not just read poneglyphs but hear those creatures. And it turns out these sea creatures are waiting for two kings, most likely the mermaid princess and whoever is to lead her out there. And also, we found out why Wano has their countries closed, because they're trying to protect themselves from a huge enemy with great power, which obviously is looking like that's the world government. And they're waiting to open it up for a certain someone who will be there to stop and end the burden or the feud of what happened from the Void Century. And I think we all know that that's definitely Luffy right there. Still, though, all of this stuff given to me was definitely blowing my mind. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be making sure to do research so I can eventually start forming my own theory conclusion on this Void Century. But we gotta move on and talk about Orochi, where we learned about this guy's history. And it turns out, man, this kid, he's just got a whole family of bad that started off with his grandfather. Because it seems as though Oden's father, Sukiyaki Kozuki, is like the reason for, well, the Kurazumi clan being the way they are, in a sort of sense. Let me just go and say that it was really Orochi's grandfather that destroyed his family because they were trying to seize the throne of Shogun, since a member of the Kozuki clan didn't have an heir at the time until Sukiyaki came into the picture, that they lost their chance at becoming Shogun. But unfortunately, the grandfather of Orochi was exposed for trying to cause treason, that his entire family was disowning everything. And it only got worse for them to be prejudiced, to be persecuted by people. It makes you feel sorry a bit for Orochi, only a little bit, because I only feel teensy little bit for this guy. Why? Because even though that, yes, it was wrong of people to do that to him, what he's doing is worser. You already know what he's done to Wano, and here we find out why he willingly does it. It's because now, yes, he's a coward and he's greedy and stuff, thinks he can do whatever he wants, but he's doing this all as revenge on Wano for what they did to him. Even against citizens who had nothing to do with it, he's making them be punished for what happened to him, being haunted and everything. And all I gotta say to that guy is, dude, you're even more despicable and messed up in the head than I thought. But I don't think I can just put it on him, because we saw he had two supporters who, first off, had the fruits of famous fruits we know out there right now. The Clone fruit by Mr. 2 and the Barrier fruit by Bartolomeo. We meet the predecessors here. And the one who had the Clone fruit, she's just as despicable and wicked, a witch might I add, because first off, her appearance, definitely that of a witch, shows that, yeah, maybe this Kurazumi clan was probably going to be born evil no matter which way you look at it. Because look at Don Flamingo. He was a world noble and stuff, and then his family was persecuted and stuff. But the way he was reacted to how his family was shows a different line there. Like, you can be sorry for Don Flamingo, but what he's doing is despicable. But what Orochi and his clan of people did, even more despicable. And that old hag just thinking that it's Sukiyaki Kozuki Oden's father's fault that they're not Shogun. That woman's more twisted than you can imagine. I really don't know what more to say other than that. I think I've made my point around there, but we need to get into the ending right here, where how Oden eventually met his end. He returned home, but he saw that Orochi was stealing people and giving them to Kaido to become slaves or something, so he made a deal to try to protect them. But of course, Orochi didn't go through with that deal, no surprise there. But it gave us a chance to actually see Oden take on Kaido here, and it was a pretty interesting battle, even though it was more of an overview battle, but it was still a really cool battle. And to finally see that scar that was given to Kaido was something else. But I also liked how we saw a bit of honor side to Kaido. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love Kaido. I'm a fan of his. But it was also good to see that while he is like this, like maybe this normal pirate we all know of when it comes to reputation of pirates, he's got his own sense of honor side, as he did not like that wicked witch using her clone powers to get involved in his fight with Oden, that in the end he killed her for it. Now bear in mind, I wish more that she got a better sense of justice than that, but then again, she wasn't as important, but still everything she did, still wish she got better, a more justice punishment. But hey, if it was by Kaido's hands, I guess I can live with that, because in the end, it's Orochi who I really want to see with my own on the pages get the justice he deserves. I don't care whether he's struck down or punished. I just want justice for what he's done to all those people out there. But if I'm to say, I want him to get captured and tortured for it. And Oden's been known to not make all the main villains die. He wants them to all live and watch their dreams be shred away in misery. And that's what I want out of Orochi. But definitely still, how Oden ended up dying by making sure he tried to make sure to stay an hour within inside a boiling thing that normally a normal person would burn to in minutes. He stayed in there for an hour and saved all his 9 red scabbards, and doing so too. It was truly something beautiful. But the real ending came when he explained to people why the borders were closed and why we actually know why some of the 9 red scabbards were sent to the future. It was his idea, not Toki's, his idea. So yes, that all leads back into that Void Century again, guys. There's so much that this Void Century has left for us. There's no telling what to say about it. Oh, and those 9 red scabbards remind me so much of how the 7 samurai, or Magnificent 7, whichever way you want to look at it though. But definitely, guys, this history, this flashback, the impactful thing I've seen around. I couldn't really know what else more to say other than that. I'm just going to leave it all at that, guys, because I need to make some more videos here related to some of the stuff we got here. And hey, if you're enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!